Hey, Lobbert here again with another Pauper Brew. As always, the deck list is in the video description along with timestamp links if you want to skip to a match. Please like my video, I really appreciate it. It boosts my visibility on YouTube, and subscribe for more Pauper content. Please check out my podcast, Common Knowledge. Now let's get into the deck tech. This week I'm taking my blue-white spells list into a league. So this is a Delver deck, so you could call this blue-white Delver if you want, but I think there's already a blue-white Delver list that uses more prowess creatures, and it's pretty different than this. It uses like mutagenic growth. So I ended up calling this blue-white spells. So the idea of this deck when I started it was to have as many spells as possible so that I can flip Delver of Secrets and get cards off of Augur of Bolas without really putting much effort into it. Originally I didn't really have any cantrips, but the deck has developed, and of course the cantrips are pretty good. Those creatures alone aren't really strong enough to close out most games, so I put in a bunch of token creators. Battle Screech is the big one. This card is really good in the current meta, I want to say. If you can protect it from things like Electrickery, the tokens just outvalue other Delver decks and anything trying to one-for-one with removal. I also play Raise the Alarm. Raise the Alarm is great because it's instant speed, and so I can leave up things like Counterspell, and if they don't do something that I want to interact with, on their end step, I can just play it. It gives me those extra creatures so that I can Battle Screech more often. So with just those white creatures, I found that I didn't have enough white creatures to play the back end of Battle Screech. So I ended up putting in 4 Secret of the Way. Most people put Secret of the Way in their deck and then build around it. I kind of put it in as the very last card, so there's not as much prowess triggers as a lot of these other decks can get. That might end up changing because it is very much worth building around this card. Other than just gain lands, this is the only life gain in our deck, and it really lets us catch up and stabilize a lot of the time. For our cantrips, we do have 4 Preordain, just as a way to pump Secret of the Way. We also have Accumulated Knowledge. It's another thing to do on your opponent's end step when you don't need to use your Counterspell or your like Prismatic Strands or anything like that. I felt like I needed the card advantage, so I put this in there, and it seems to be doing pretty okay. For interaction, we do of course run Counterspell. Too good not to put in there. The double blue is kind of hard to do sometimes, so I've built my mana base a lot around always having mana up to Counterspell so that I can not get so behind and stabilize when I actually can Battle Screech or something like that. Other than that, I have mentioned the Prismatic Strands quite a few times. With all of our token producers, we want to be able to prevent Electrickery from wiping our board. Sometimes this can be huge card advantage, so I'm at 3. I don't think that 4 is good. It's just too many, and I'm trying to find value too much in them. So I'm sitting at 3 right now. Our last interactive spell is Snap. This really helps us catch up a lot of the time. It's essentially free. It really isn't, because it has the 2 that you have to save to actually put into it, but it does some really cool things for us. Battle Screech having double white in it can be really hard to cast sometimes. I've had it where I have 1 white source and I end up casting Snap on my opponent's creature for double blue while I'm floating a white, and then tap my land a second time so that I can get double white for Battle Screech. Other than just bouncing your opponent's creature, this sometimes lets you cast extra spells as well as trigger prowess. So I'm going to go over our mana base real quick. We have 4 Ash Barrens. The deck operates so much at instant speed that Ash Barrens is kind of a no-brainer here. We have 1 Azorius Chancery. Now I've tried to run more of these, but having 2 mana up for like a Counterspell or something has been super essential, and I just don't like what this does when you have to bounce the land back to your hand that you want to use on your opponent's turn. We're operating a lot at instant speed, so I found that 1 is okay because we can untap it with Snap and stuff like that, but I'm not super big on it right now. We have 2 planes just so that we can tutor for both of them if we need to with Ash Barons and cast our Battle Screech. Playing any more planes isn't really something I'm excited about. If I were to put more white sources in the deck, they would probably be tap lands. Next we have our islands. Here I have snow-covered islands, but in the video I'm not playing them. I really should just be playing snow-covered island because I can play island and delver, and I can look like a Skred delver list. So that's something that I'm probably going to change in the deck right after this video. Lastly, we have Tranquil Cove. The incidental life gain, of course, is good, and we do need a lot of colored sources, so I would actually consider playing Guild Gates sometime in the future. But that covers the main deck, so let's move on to the sideboard. I'm not very confident in this sideboard. I kind of threw it together, and I haven't done a lot of work on it, so I'm sure at the end of the video I'm going to be changing this quite a bit. I always update my deck lists, and the most updated version of the deck list is what I link below in the video. So if you're looking to make suggestions, yeah, take a look at the video, but look at that deck list and see if I've already made the change, because a lot of the time I have, or if you make the suggestion, you can check and see that maybe I have actually implemented that in the deck because of your suggestion, which that's kind of cool. So first up we have Dispel. There's a lot of counter wars that I end up getting into in this deck. The reason I'm only at one of these and I'm not running more counter spells in the main deck is I know I said that I wasn't really building around Seeker of the Way, but one of the things that I didn't think was worth it was playing more counter spells. They don't work very well with prowess, so I want to be able to do things proactively if I need to. It is a super good card though, so maybe more than one is warranted. Next I have 2 Fragmentize. I think that this is the best artifact or enchantment removal. I don't care that it's sorcery because it does still trigger prowess, and I just want it to be cheap. I don't want anything that costs more than 1 white. So maybe Disenchant goes here, but I don't know of any 5-mana artifacts or enchantments that I'm looking to kill. We have 4 Hydroblast. Burn is a huge part of the meta right now, so I'm hoping that just running 4 Hydroblasts can give me an edge against that. It does feel a little bit excessive. Next we have Standard Bearer. This might be one of the best cards in the sideboard. I have won games just solely on Standard Bearer more than once, so this card is 100% worth the price as far as tickets go. Next is Stormbound Geist. Stormbound Geist gives us a lot of play against black decks and decks with flying creatures. Sometimes it's also just an extra attacker if we're trying to close the game out before our opponent can do something broken. I really like it. I've built decks kind of around it in my Emerge deck, which I do plan on playing sometime again soon. Lastly, we have 4 Sunlance. This is for the aggro matchups. I don't think that I can play Sunlance in the main deck. Sometimes it just ends up being a dead card. I mean, Boros Monarch is one of the strongest decks in the format, and just having Sunlance rot in your hand, I just don't think is good enough. I've discussed this deck with a few people, and one of the cards that they suggest, inevitably, is Journey to Nowhere. Journey to Nowhere can be very good in this. I'm not convinced on it because the idea of this deck is to flip Delver of Secrets and have Augur get cards as many times as possible. That could be wrong. If you want to put this together and try out Journey to Nowhere, go for it. I'm not super interested in trying it out, but it is probably better than Sunlance. Anyway, I think that this is like a starting point for the deck. I don't think that this is anywhere near finished, but it feels pretty strong. I think some of the numbers are off, and there might be some cards that just need to be swapped out for other cards. So the only way to really stress test a deck is to put it through a league. I find that the free queues have too many decks that just aren't part of the meta, and I end up stomping on them, and I feel really good about a deck. And then I take it into a league, and it just doesn't work the way it was in those free queues. So let's see how this does, and I do plan on doing more videos that are old decks that I'm trying to improve to kind of document the brewing process and see how they improve along the way, as well as get suggestions. Anyway, let's get into the games and we'll see how this does. I lost the recording for the first match, so I have to do it in this replay mode, which I don't like doing, but I still wanted to post the rest of the video, so let's just go through this first match. I hate the replay system in MTGO, but we're just gonna have to click through this. Sorry for all the clicking. That's one of the reasons I don't like the replay system. So I end up keeping this hand based on Preordain, just hoping I can find any other land. I find a Raise the Alarm and a Delver. I bought them both, ended up finding a Snap, so we still haven't found our land yet. My opponent plays a Delver of their own, and again I don't find a land and I'm out of cantrips, so now I'm just praying to catch up and find a land. They also don't flip, so we're hoping for no ninja here. So no ninja, which is good news. Let's hope there's nothing worse. Fairy and another fairy. So their spell stutters are going to be pretty good. And we end up finding our planes. So we're going to be behind on damage, so I jam a Secret of the Way. It doesn't look like they have any red in their deck, so they're just going to have to bounce this if they're going to get it off the field. They get in for 5 and then bump it up to 6 with a ninja. So they're going to be drawing a card off the ninja and then another card off of the fairy. So I'm super behind and it's only a couple turns into the game. They replay the fairy. I find my third land. So there's a chance that we're going to actually be able to cast these Prismatic Strands. They did reveal this Daze off of their Delver, so we knew they had it in their hand. So we don't get to snap. So we attack so that we can actually get our lifelink in and hopefully stabilize at some future turn, but now they're like miles ahead of where we are. We know they have their third land in their hand already. There's a Preordain, and I suspect that they're leaving up both hard counter and the Spell Stutter Sprite that they can counter a 3-mana spell with. They get their second card off of Ninja, so this is looking pretty bad. We find a Raise the Alarm, so that can kind of surprise the Ninja if we need to. I think leaving up Prismatic Strands is the goal here. We have to start blanking damage. And they did indeed have the Spell Stutter Sprite. So it's a good thing we didn't play anything. So that's on the field now, though. They're going to be attacking for 3, 6, 7, 8. So they're one shy of lethal. A ninja could kill us, so Prismatic Strands definitely is the right play, leaving that up. So we're going to block. Hopefully we can kill their ninja with our Prismatic Strands. We get 2 shots at this. And for some reason we end up casting a Raise the Alarm. I believe the logic at the time was... yeah, we get totally blown out. I believe the logic at the time was that they didn't quite have lethal yet, and in the future we would be able to do multiple Prismatic Strands, and it would still kill their ninja. It didn't end up happening, so now we're just years behind where they are. Attack with one of these, because we're going to just leave one back for Prismatic Strands. Not much hope left here. They probably have all of the counter spells that they could ever need. Yep, they're just blowing counter spells for 1 damaged creatures. We go for the Prismatic Strands. They of course have a counter spell. Go for a second Prismatic Strands. They have another counterspell. As far as sideboarding goes, we take out 2 Augur of Bolas and 4 Snaps. We bring in 2 Stormbound Geists and 4 Sunlance. So hoping that those Sunlances can keep us from getting too behind and stabilize us. We do indeed find one on turn 1. So lead with the Tranquil Cove, and we're trying to get that Seeker of the Way down ASAP. They of course have the turn 1 Delver. So we're gonna fire back with our Seeker of the Way. So they play both Preordain and Ponder. Set up a nice hand, I'm sure. Find another Plains. So now we can fire off Sunlance to trigger Prowess, get their Delver. It can't be dazed. And we get back our life, so we're back in the lead as far as that goes. And let's go for an Augur Bolas, which gets dazed. So they're back down to 1 land, which isn't the end of the world. I believe we knew, yeah, we knew that they had that daze as well. Go for a Preordain, which gets Spell Stuttered. So we have another land, play that, and we're going to go for a Seeker of the Way attack. I think we're going for a Delver. And we elect not to go for Raise the Alarm. We're trying to spread out Raise the Alarm because we want to get lifelink as many times as possible on our Seeker of the Way. That's probably a mistake, since they had a turn where we could have got 2 more power on the field, which I'm not sure if that matters since they do run Augur, but they end up scooping this up. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'll take it, and we move on to match 3. So we don't have any white in our opener, and we have all white spells, so that's not very good. We find another island, so we're going to cycle this Ash Baron so that we can get down our first Seeker of the Way. And we're locked into only playing 1 spell a turn, and they've already got a Ninja, so I feel like we're just going to shoot this Ninja as soon as we get the chance. That is indeed what we do, and we find a Tranquil Cove, which is our second white source. That's very welcome news. Our first Seeker of the Way gets dazed. That's rough as well, and they have 3 creatures out. They could have 7 power next turn, 8 power next turn, because they get to play another Ninja. This is going to be really tough to come back from. We play a Seeker of the Way, and we plan on playing a Raise the Alarm on their turn to pump our guy and get some blocks in. I play the Raise the Alarm in their upkeep, I think, because I'm avoiding Counterspell. They end up snapping our guy. They attack anyway. They don't seem to care too much about our soldiers. And they just want to see they want to get our card and get in their damage. So they make that trade. They have a whole bunch of mana untapped now. Killing the creatures also denies us a Raise the Alarm flashback. But it looks like they just have all of the counter spells, and we're going to be locked out of this game. Play Raise the Alarm to stay alive. They gush in response to try to find a counterspell. They don't find it, so their damage is blanked this turn, but we're going to be hard pressed to come back from this. We do get to gain a life off of playing our land drop. Not what we wanted to see, though. MTGO bumps over the graveyard for no apparent reason. So we have 2 birds out now. We can flashback Prismatic Strands. I think that's the plan. We're going to block a Delver. Yep. Try to get that off the field. Flashback Prismatic Strands, which promptly gets dispelled. We actually get their Delver, but They still have 5 power on the field, and all we have in hand is a Tranquil Cove. They put another creature down, and it's pretty much GG. Alright, round 2, actually recording this time. This seems alright. What the? Okay. So probably some kind of Reanimator build. I have the counter spells to kind of chill and wait. Draw, discard, Crusher, no swamp, no swamp. Okay. Yeah, now we just have to hold up counterspell for days. For days. And they could end up just having the Dispel. It's another Riverwinder. Tap land. Unfortunately, we don't have like a raise the alarm to punish him. I'm gonna still wait. One more land and we can start playing our 2-drops and leaving up the counterspell. I feel like as soon as we go for something, they're gonna punish us. So I'm gonna still wait. I haven't had it. Maybe they're just not playing into counterspell. I have 8 cards in my hand. I'm not. Well, it's not a big deal if I discard. Let's just get rid of like a Battle Screech. They could totally just have a Dispel with this mana. Is this an Angler? Angler would be pretty bad. They got rid of their Crusher. That was the one thing I was super afraid of. All right. I think Seeker of the Way is what I want to do. I think Delver is. Let's put a clock on him. We have one more counterspell in hand. We have to kind of apply a clock to them relatively quickly. There's another Crusher. Because eventually they're going to be able to hard cast all their spells. Let's see what we reveal here. Seeker of the Way is a no. Get in for 1. Another Seeker. flip. Come on, flip, flip. Potato chip. Yes. I don't actually think I want to play that yet. I just want to cast another Seeker so that it gives me +2 power when I cast it. What's this? Echoing Decay. I have to let that resolve. If he plays another one on a Seeker, even if he counters my counterspell, my guys live. I doubt that he has another one, but it could happen. Chainers is fine. Dig for that next counterspell, I guess. And from the feeling of this deck, I feel like I do want more cantrips. I have those other ones, the 2-mana ones, and I just haven't seen any. I think that's what I'm feeling right now, is that I haven't seen any of those. I'm gonna go for the Delver a second time. Just to get the biggest clock possible. And the kill spells, I think, are just things I have to let resolve. See if the counterspell works. It does. Second Exhume. That's not good. And it's probably going to be a Crusher, and I have no recourse for that. Does it tell me what he chooses? Chooses Ulamog's Crusher. I guess I'll get a Delver. Come on, flip. Second Delver. Prismatic Strains doesn't do anything. I'm thinking about just giving up my Augurs, which means I'm going to play a Delver so I can preordain first. I think I put the preordain here so I can guarantee to hit on Augur, and then I get the Ash Barrens. Use the Ash Barrens. Oh, I'm going to use the Ash Barrens right after I Augur. He's taking a good long think. He couldn't be thinking about counterspelling this, could he? Alright, so let this resolve. There's a late counterspell. I think I'm looking for token producers. So I'm gonna grab this Preordain. Find another blue. Delver. Pass the turn. Just take a look at my sideboard. There's no relics in there. Joy. So I'm taking the hit. I just need to figure out what I'm going to kill. I think this, Island, and my Augur. I have to race an Ulamog's Crusher. Please flip. Yes. I forgot I had snaps. Oh, baby. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7. If he gets an untapped land, he can just replay it. I want to see if I can find that counter spell. I am looking like pretty specifically for counterspell or another snap. Accumulated knowledge. Preordain again. The raise the alarm is a bit tempting. There we go. And ride these guys to victory. And then before he can counter it, let's just get the snap done. Now we're in good shape. See what this is. He's casting a spell. What's this? What is this? Sultai Scavenger. Bit problematic, but I think this is worth... Actually, this is a use for my prismatic strands. So I'm going to see what I get off of AK. See what happens when I preordain. So I'm drawing a counterspell either this turn or next turn. Do I want an augur? I don't think I necessarily do. It's a little bit slow. I still have a snap. So worst case scenario here, we trade and I'm left with one Delver. Maybe it was right to snap there just because of the change it makes to my clock on him. This is exactly what we want to see. I think this means it's locked up. Agony Warp. I'm going to counterspell that. Okay, we made it. Probably want Stormbound Geists. Raise the Alarms seem weak. I feel like Augur of Bolas always seems weak, but it's probably not really. I don't want as many Prismatic Strands, most likely. I want to Dispel for sure. I don't think I can think of an enchantment that I want or an artifact I care about. So I'm not going to bring in Fragmentize. Standard Bearers. Standard Bearer, huh? Don't think that that's that good. This seems fine. It's a bad hand. Seeing a lot of bad hands here. I'm gonna have to rewatch this and see if there's like a common thread. Not amazing. I'll keep a Delver. Turn 1 Delver, turn 2 Accumulated Knowledge. He's got some setting up to do. If I can land a couple of good Accumulated Knowledge, I would feel way better. Flip. All right. So I want to get the counterspell and the Accumulated Knowledge going. Like I want to be able to leave up counterspell and Accumulated Knowledge when I don't have to. So I'm going to Tranquil Cove. I don't think I'm just going to luck into drawing an island. Just make the best decision I can make based on the cards in my hand. It's usually the right play. Okay, Duress is gonna throw me off a little bit. Probably gonna take that counterspell. I feel like this is just snap, take, counterspell. Maybe he's like snipping. Battle Screech. I'm shocked. Does he have the dispel for the counterspell or something? I don't know what would have made him do that. That has me a little bit scared. And these planes are always kind of awkward. So is this the dispel? Yes, it is. The strands can kind of race that a little bit. He's already down to 12. Let's just pop the Seeker down. Now, okay, do I want to preordain now or do I want to preordain next turn so that I can trigger my Seeker? I think I want to find a land more than anything. Plus I might want a Prismatic Strands next turn and I would just be stranded with this preordain. There's another preordain and another Delver. Part of me wants both of these cards. I for sure want the preordain and I don't care which turn I get it. Actually, I don't want it this turn if anything. Just in case he can rip it out of my hand. And then the extra Delver. I probably do want that. If I were to predict what's going to happen, it's probably that he kills my Delver. So I'm going to grab my backup Delver. Kills the Seeker. Kills the Delver. Just land Delver. I'm going to go for the preordain. Hopefully we can line up a flip. Counterspell is good, of course. Ashburns. Kind of forced into Ashburns. Top. Then we can't shuffle with our Ash Barons until we draw. Please don't kill my Delver. Okay. Gonna get down an extra land. I'm not going to really Prismatic Strands until I have to. I would rather leave up Counterspell or Accumulated Knowledge. This is a risk. Okay. So we can leave up Counterspell for one more turn. because we don't have to prismatic strands. And then the turn after that, we can actually do both in a turn. We haven't seen the other mode that the deck does, where like all of a sudden I play like 3 Battle Screeches out of the board, or out of the graveyard. The grave board. Huh. I think next turn is the one that I Battle Screech on. Since I can Battle Screech and leave up Counterspell. I don't want to go shields down. I already have the strands. This is kind of getting down to it. Like, does he have the Counterspell for my prismatic strands? Researcher. So I actually think I'd do it now. The extra card is just gonna make things worse for me. So name Blue. Mental note. He's still at 1 card in hand. There's another Exhume into the yard. But let's see how many mana I have. Okay, so if I draw a Raise the Alarm, I just go crazy this turn. I don't. A Seeker of the Way would have done it as well. This turn, the name of the game is just get guys on the field. So now I can strands. I think I have this locked up. It's hard to say though. Just gonna... I mean, this looks super weird, but I'm just gonna block with my Delver. Echoing Decay is one of the things I'm playing around right now. I don't know what he could have that saves him. If he has 2 kill spells, it saves him and I lose. So if I leave back a bird, I'm just gonna leave back both birds. I know that if I would have attacked with birds as well, I would have won there, but it's possible that he just has another kill spell. Let's block first. Blue. And now I have to attack. Oh my gosh. I almost punted there, I feel like, but I feel like I was making the right decision. Here we go, round 3. So this hand doesn't do anything. Preordain, like, begs to differ. I think since I'm on the draw, this is keepable. Remedio 1. Okay, just heal through his turn. See what we're playing against. It looks like Tron, and we draw our last Prismatic Strands. I think we want Chancery. Chancery makes us discard, but it's better with Snap. I'm just going to leave up Counterspell. If we need the white in a turn, there's a chance we can just snap our Chancery to untap. Or snap their guy and then untap our Chancery is what I meant. I don't know how much I want to go shields down, and we just drew our Delver. So this means we don't have to discard. Exclude is definitely worth a counterspell. Let's get this rolling. This kind of looks like the blue-white version. I don't know how to identify them that well, so I'm not gonna say that with authority. So let's get in before we do anything. I was expecting more aggro-y or burn or something, that these Prismatic Strands would just be like all-stars, and they haven't done anything. We could have snapped our own Delver to put a Seeker into play. I don't think I want to do that, though. Tranquil Cove is a no. So I'm going to play Seeker. I guess this was a mistake. I should have attacked first. And then with the Cove, we are all ready for a Battle Screech. Teachings. Teachings for what? Impulse to find his Tron. Okay. This is like the one deck I didn't put relics in the board for. And I miss him. I miss him bad. Flip already. Yes. Battle Screech. Okay. Oh, I should have Battle Screech pre-combat. Dumb. Just because I made the wrong decision doesn't mean I shouldn't still cast Battle Screech, though. There's Tron. Now let's see what horrors await us. this into play. Okay. So we can snap their guy. Don't think it does much. Flashing back Battle Screech isn't too exciting. I think I do it though. Let's get the Battle Screech going. That way we'll still have our untapped guys, so that if we have to flashback strands here, we can. We have like infinite of these, so I'm not afraid of him like flickering his guy or something like that. I mean, it's unfortunate if he does, but I'm not like, oh no. And I just realized that these are both blue creatures. I'm stupid. So I can snap his Moldrifter for whatever that matters for. I'm gonna name Red. I feel like the most important thing here is that I have a prismatic strands in the yard now, and I feel a lot safer in case he does want to electrickery. Okay. He has so many cards, I'm not sure if playing Snap even matters. I'm gonna do it for speed reasons. Is this another Ghostly Flicker? Prohibit. He's fighting over it. Maybe because he has so many cards? I'm not sure. This feels super bad. Now, is this a Ghostly Flicker? Huh. She can go all in. I'm not gonna leave 3 damage back worth of birds just so that he can block my Delver. I'm gonna let this go through. He's at 6, and I finally got that Moldrifter out of the way. Does have green spells. It's bad news. Yeah. Too many strands. I just have way too many strands. Usually they're great. Let's get this out of the way. Let's get our planes. And I think a strands is worth it. It makes it so I have the same amount of damage this turn. And I don't lose my guy. Blue. I think bad things are going to start happening to me real soon. Bad thing one. It's going to be something like Mnemonic Wall shows up, or Dinrova Horror shows up. Yeah, this looks like a Dinrova Horror to me. Teachings. Already used the impulse. Electrickery. And he has enough to like counterspell me. So let's see if I can get lucky and keep my birds. Electrostatic bolt. Kills my guy. Shoot. Mana leak. And I'm down to nothing. I don't know what it would take to win this game now, but I'm ahead on time. That's a card. Another Drifty Boy. Yeah, just playing this one out. I don't think I'm going to win. Screech. Three prismatic strands, so I have some turns. I do have some turns. Sure, let's just do it. I don't want him to take away my ability to flashback. If I get another token producer or a white creature, I still want to be able to make a bunch of creatures. So this is just Murasa or Dinrova Tron. Haven't seen any white cards. Yeah. Guess I should just, no, I shouldn't yield. I have prismatic strands. Is this Muldrifter 4? And thanks to Pulse and Murasa, it would be Muldrifter 5, really. Oh, jeez. Okay. This is gonna take him forever to do, and I'm a minute and a half ahead on time. So, oh, I do have a counterspell now, so I can stop him from doing that. And I have, let's see, I have another turn because he has 7 damage and I have 8 life. Flashback, mystical teachings, yeah. Essence scatter. If I counter this, I don't think I win either way. Let's just let it happen. One, 2, 3, 4. He has 4. Oh, okay. I was seeing if he was going to capsize me again. What's he get here? Make it take another turn. So turn off auto yields and then shield. Capsize basically means I lose the game, but I'm just slowly creeping ahead on time. What's this? 2 red? Rolling Thunder for 2. I wanted to spell. Is it just a spell? This deck is kind of meta against aggro decks, and I'm not even doing super well. I haven't faced one yet, though, have I? I want all my creatures. Prismatic Strands is the cut. Okay. Let's get rid of all of the Prismatic Strands. Nah, let's keep 1. And then Standard Bearer doesn't do anything with Ghostly Flicker. Stormbound Geist could be okay. I don't think he's edicting or anything. It's just another creature to attack. It deals with Muldrifter pretty well. Snap could be cut for another Geist. Come to think of it, Snap is bad enough. This just attacking with Standard Bearers could be okay. I'm just gonna cut all the snaps and leave in another Prismatic Strands. He did play 3 burn spells. 2 burn? Yeah, 3 burn spells. This is about as aggro as my hand's gonna get. I'm just gonna go get Island and pass. Delver. I guess I could have brought in Sunlance to just clear the way when he does play his Muldrifters. Flame Slash is my Delver. Not a good sign. Get some guys going. I'm gonna grab an accumulated knowledge because I'm a greedy mofo. So we have both of our whites for the battle screech now. We can just do that next turn. Let's get in. I'm hoping to just kind of overwhelm him this game. So Delver is pretty much as much damage as a Battle Screech is. And I get to start doing my accumulated knowledges. We could also try to set it up with Preordain. I'm going to use my mana more effectively and AK. Nothing we can do. So we're going to go for this. Probably has a counterspell up at this point in the game. I can't. I can't Delver and Geist. Start with a Preordain. I'm gonna try to find an island. I like both of these. Play that. Then I just have so many extra white mana left over at the end of my turns. Essence Scatter. I knew he had a counterspell. I have 4 mana up next turn. 5 mana up, sorry. So I can Stormbound and Augur. Let's Augur first. See if we can double our clock. So many red spells. Then let's see if we can Stormbound. Okay, Stormbound landed. Now, what is this? Probably an impulse to find Tron? Yep, called it. There it is. I think this is the ugliest one. They're all foil, and the foil's just ugly. So I didn't consider Magma Spray just deals with Stormbound Geist. So I'm gonna get in with Geist. Still doubled our clock last turn. I want a Seeker. Everything we do this turn is safe. Man, we're 1 off from Seeker Battle Screech. Let's get that down. And then I'm gonna go for accumulated knowledge. Draw 2. Oh man. And then just preordain. We can do Battle Screech next turn to activate Seeker. I don't want any more lands right now. Preordain. This was a very white mana base that I drew this turn when the majority of, I think the majority of my lands are just island. So we got rid of Mystical Teachings and a Bolt out of his deck. He's having a really slow game. So let's do the whole Stormbound attack thing. So this turn I could actually do... Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the Battle Screech and Seeker thing. What is this? Just a counterspell? Oh, prohibit. Oh, condescend. Trying to figure out how much mana he wanted to pay for that. Just gonna yield here. He's doing the scry too. Gets my Seeker. This Stormbound Geist has been untouched for quite a while. I don't think he can deal with it very well. And then the Prismatic Strands gives me a little bit of hope. That was a good draw. Let's actually start with Preordain. Don't want that for sure. So Standard Bearer is a white creature that I can use for strands. It's also good. It's also good in the context of Battle Screech. And this Augur can actually attack. Huh. So let's get our... Let's leave up Prismatic Strands, and then next turn we're going to be playing our Standard Bearer so that we can protect Standard Bearer. That's a good draw. Okay. Guess we attack all out. Play standard bearer, and then just pass. Some kind of counter spell. Bounces his guy. Oh, that's because it's his last chance. Still about 2 minutes ahead. And pretty much those 2 minutes are ones we gained by just playing out the last game. If he does end up making kind of a comeback, it's going to take him forever. And if we go to game 3, I think he's going to run out of time first. Mnemonic Wall. Let us see if we can draw a counterspell. We don't. There's no ghostly flickers in there, but he could have one in his hand. So he gets an impulse. We do draw another Screech, so this is going to be fun. So get in with our guy. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Screech. And then we Screech. And then we have one more Screech in the yard. Probably looking for that Electrickery. We might want to just leave up 2 Prismatic Strands going forward. That's okay. I'm not going to cycle Ash Barrens. It's just leaving ourselves open. So we can go ahead and Seeker. And then Battle Screech. Just to make it simpler on knowing what we have to leave back. Okay. So we can attack with 2 birds and a Geist. So originally I didn't have Seeker of the Way in this build. So it's not really built around it. It's just kind of in here because it's good enough. It's just a good creature. And I needed an extra white creature to flashback Battle Screech more often. I'm going to go for Cycling Ash Barrens first. Should go for an island. See what Augur finds, hoping for a counterspell. Bunch of Raise the Alarms. So Raise the Alarm is really useful in terms of flashing back Prismatic Strands. But we did tap out enough that we can't just cast 2 strands to begin with. Ghostly Flicker. He doesn't have an Electricity in his yard, right? Yeah, he doesn't. I think I played a little bit reckless this turn. Here's for hoping I don't just get blown out. He has the Ghostly Flicker combo now. Oh wait, I counted wrong. Yeah, we can do 2 Prismatic Strands in this turn. We can't do 3. If we left back a birdie, we could do 3. So is this just going to be Echoing Truth? Ugh. I'm still doing 3 between Stormbound Geist and Augur. That has to be okay, I guess. I think that's it, though. Don't know what he can do. I guess he could Moment's Peace. Or Pulse of Murasa. So yeah, there's things he can do. Okay, we win that one, and he's about 3 minutes behind on time. Standard Bears did look pretty good, since he has those burn spells, and he has Echoing Truth. Prismatic Strands, I had both of them in my hand at the end of the game, but I felt pretty good, especially since he played like, I don't know, 10 burn spells. Hydroblast could be useful, but I don't think it's worth it. Sunlance, I think we were craving at some point. That's a weird word to use for that, but we were. And then Snaps are a maybe. Problem is, I don't want to cut any of the cards we have. The Battle Screechers have been a little bit underwhelming, so maybe cut one of those for, I think, a Sunlance. Shooting down a Moldrifter or something to clear the way might be good enough. And just one I can find use for eventually. This seems good. I have Stormbound Geist, and that was really good last game. Let's keep. And he has to play pretty quick. So right now our plan is just play 1,000 Raise the Alarms. By 1,000 I mean 2. Okay, now that looks more like 1,000. I'm just gonna do this main phase. Okay, we know he has Echoing Truth and Electricity. I don't know how many of these we can play safely. Well, we can play Stormbound Geist next turn, so I think that's our plan. Delver's a consideration, but I think as long as he doesn't have Counterspell up, Stormbound is the way to go. So now I have 4 power on the field on turn 3. That's not terrible for this deck. Just see where this takes us when we attack. It's 1 piece off from Tron, and he has access to any colored mana he needs. Let's see what Preordain does. Accumulated knowledge. Don't want to land. I do want the accumulated knowledge. I'm going to try to land a Delver. Might just be counterbait. Oh. Okay. Probably going to be seeing some burn spells right here. Yeah, that's a burn spell. And then we're living in fear of Magma Spray. We just go for the power play. There we go. I feel way better. Pseudo hasty boys. Okay. All of these spells are instant speed, which feels nice. I'm going to go for the accumulator knowledge. Here's a risk. I'm going to go for another accumulator knowledge. And then ride our guys to victory. We just got out pretty quick and have counter spells to back him up. If I play Raise the Alarm on his end step, he can just die. I'll use a counter spell on that. I don't think it's worth, unless he taps out. Just say no over and over. Okay. I don't think it's worth tapping out here. We could just lose all of our soldier tokens. Okay. So Condescend could be for like 5. 1 second. 2, 3, 4. It was only 4. Okay. So if either of our Geists live or all of our tokens live, he would have to misplay for us to even want to cast the Raise the Alarm. At least I think. Okay. Seems like he's had a really bad hand this game. Oh, he's gonna have to Rolling Thunder to clear our guys. And then we could raise the alarm and win the game. I think we've got this. Yes. That was sweet. Match 4. Here we go. Seems fine enough. Snap means I don't really have to leave up counterspell, so I can go ahead and... Oh. Somebody who watches the channel. That's pretty sweet. I love when people let me know. Yeah, I'm trying to get more vids up. I'm trying to be good. Be good boy. So, is this Tireless Tribe? Nope, this is another... It's another graveyard deck. So, seriously, the one time I leave home without my Relic of Progenitus... Oh... This looks more like a Delver deck. So I guess we just shields up, wait here. Wait for another threat. All of our tokens mean that any kind of deck like this, we have an advantage since their removal's 1-for-1 most of the time. Prismatic Strands isn't going to be doing a whole lot. This is just an Angler. I feel fine countering an Angler. I could have just snapped it, but I don't want him to recast it and have counterspell up the next time. So I'm trying to get us to just stare at each other for a few turns until I draw something. Augur is precisely what I wanted to see. It's just a habit to yield there. Okay. I'm going to go for this Preordain immediately. I want both of these cards. I can cast the battle. I can cast the Bogger of Screeches, the Augur of Bolas, and the next turn I can battle Screech. So I'm going to go for the Augur right now. And I'll grab that Battle Screech. Sad that I have to bottom that accumulated knowledge. We'll probably get to shuffle it back up into the top of our deck. Well, hopefully the top of our deck sometime soon. But now we have Edict Insurance if we actually do get something of value. Just a couple lands here revealed. Not too concerned about him landing another Angler since I'm going to have the snap. I may wait on the snap until he actually has... Until I actually have a counterspell. Something to follow up with. We have the Battle Screech to deal with Delver. I'm going to lead with this Preordain. Bottom that, and we have the counterspell now. I can deal with that Angler in a minute. So for right now, let's just Screech. Oops. White. Forgot to tap for white. And we'll go ahead and pass turn. So now he has a huge incentive for trading off. Trading off kill spells for birds since this is Battle Screech in the yard. I don't think. Actually, I do think it matters here, so I'm gonna chump here. What is this? Deep analysis. Ouch. Is he just gonna back immediately? Drew 4 cards this turn. So we know we're gonna snap that Angler. So let's just go ahead and do that. Untap our lands. I'm too worried about him having a kill spell to go along with attacking to actually double block. Okay. And we have the life advantage. I can blink a couple of attacks with from those. I just don't want to have to deal with an Angler. So I'm going to hold on to my counterspell. Just waiting for a white creature. We have 12 in total. We've already used 2. So we have 10 left in our library. That's almost a 1 in 4 chance. Plus we have redraws. Moment of Craving has to be okay. He's way ahead on cards. That Deep Analysis just put him miles ahead. Oh, I guess. Okay, he's only at 5. I was looking at his hand when he had that Brainstorm resolving. Finds another Brainstorm. So we're going to be forced to act first, unfortunately, since he's ahead on damage now that he has 2 insects. Just angler me already. He's leaving up counter spells. See if we get lucky. I doubt we will. Yeah. And that he's milled 1 counter spell, so that's 2. We're done attacking with Augur. There's a counter spell a turn too late. I think we're forced to go for the Prismatic Strands block. We were a little bit flooded this game, but we were kind of flooded in our opening hand, so that's to be expected. Shit. That's the third counterspell. It's likely that he has the fourth. Gush. Oh my. I've thought about running Gush in this. It's probably right. Then just kills our last creature, and he's gonna go for lethal here. Just forced to cast my Prismatic Strands. Let's do blue since it prevents more. And there's very few things that win us the game from this point. Second Angler just beats us. Definitely going to be boarding in Sunlance to deal with those insects. Let's just see what we draw. Battle Screech too late. So cards I'm considering are Sunlance and Dispel. The Raise the Alarm are a little bit underwhelming in this matchup, but I don't want to really slow ourselves down even more. Oh, I forgot. We definitely want to bring in these Stormbound Geists. Probably the Accumulated Knowledge is what I want to cut. And then a Sunlance. Probably a Dispel. And I want to find room for one more Sunlance. I think Sunlances are better than... One Sunlance is better than a Snap. So we do stand a chance here. How many matches? I think this makes at least 3 that I would have wanted to bring in Relic of Progenitus. We could just go faster than him here. It is awkward. I'm gonna hope for the best and just go for a Delver. Pretty sure next turn we're just cycling Ashburns to put a Plains into play. So I don't... Wait. Oh, I forgot to put a stop here. I was thinking about cycling Ashburns to draw a different card, but messed that up. If I get a second blue source, I can play another Delver this turn. And then I'm like super far off from playing these spells. So I think I just do go for the Plains and take a turn off from doing anything good. This is probably going to die. He did have to set up his hand for a couple of turns last game. So I'm kind of hoping that that's going to happen again. I'm not banking on it. I'm hoping to draw land. If I drew island, that would be perfect. So the blue, okay, plays his own Delver. Augur's not what we want to see here at all. I'm going to offer the trade. Sweet. Get in a free point of damage. I think Secret of the Way is good. See, it reveals a mental note, so he's the first to flip. Cycles and Ash Barrens. So there's the island. Gonna see this mental note? No. Moment of craving. So I'm not too upset about drawing an island here, since I can just jam Stormbound Geist. So far, Geist has been like one of the best cards in our sideboard, so maybe I do want to bump that up. I know it does seem excessive to have as many Sunlances as I do, but there have been multiple times. There's a lot of any aggro matchup I want. Oh. If this is a, yeah, Agony Warp? Yeah, Agony Warp is pretty bad. That's a 2-for-1. Yeah, if I cut Accumulated Knowledge and I switch to something like Gush as like a 1-of, this is disappointing. So I think since he's stuck on lands, I am in a position to attack. I should be able to pull ahead. Okay, Augur. Oh, bunch of white cards. Raise the Alarm isn't exciting. I think Sunlance is the most exciting card here. And then we just go white on our Delvers. Okay, so he did find a swamp. Oh. I think he used this mental note. I think that's what this is. Like milling a Delver and an island. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Not sure on that though. Could be deciding what land to play. Arts Match. And And then anything that's not an island is a good draw. So Ghastly Demise on my Stormbound Geist. Then is this an Angler? Yeah. Hoping for... I'm not sure. Okay. Seeker of the Way, not that exciting, but it's action. So I'm playing the Seeker first so that if I get another Plains or something, an Ash Barrens or a Plains, I can Battle Screech and flash it back in the same turn. And this is looking pretty dismal. I'm going to be ballsy and wait a turn here. There's a chance I can race with Secret of the Way, and my Delvers could flip. Sultai Scavenger. So that's actually a better Sunlance target. Okay. Counterspell's a good draw. So now we can Sunlance this. He knows I have Counterspell, so this could just be a Dispel coming up. Yeah. Freak. I still attack with this. Okay, goes all out. And this is where we pray. Please, no Agony Warp. Okay. So we have a backup blocker, so we can attack with our Seeker. Just block with our Augur so that we don't die. We get our last Plains. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and flash this back. Get in for 4. Even up the life totals. Evan Curse Justice just wrecks us, but I'm pretty sure that they don't run that. Preordain is perfect. Gets our prowesses going, and gets us another card. Another Preordain is welcome. We can no longer cast Battle Screech. But any instant or sorcery means that Seeker of the Way can attack. Oh, lucky. I do want to raise the alarm next turn, I think. Do I? Do I? I don't think I do. I'll take that prismatic strands. So I'm going to leave one back. It looks like we're hedging so that we can block, but it's for prismatic strands. So Ghastly Demises are our guy, our unblocked guy. So all of a sudden we turn the corner. At least it feels like it. Yes! Oh my gosh. So 3 snaps still feels fine. I believe Agony Warp gets around Standard Bearer. So I believe this is good. It could be that we want a snap over a prismatic strands. I think that they're good though. So I'm gonna keep. So we have a turn 2 Seeker of the Way. Turn 1 we can leave up Dispel. And we can also cycle our Ash Barrens. And there's a turn 3 Stormbound. I like this. We do have to choose between getting a white source or a blue source for either Battle Screech or Stormbound Geist. I think Battle Screech is the lowest priority. I just let that Brainstorm resolve because I think later the Dispel is going to be good in a counter war or to save one of our guys. Oh, he's just begging. He's just begging for me to do it. I just want to play everything on curve, so I'm going to do that. Oh, punished. Should have cast Dispel, maybe? Okay, I'm just going to play Seeker of the Way. Plays a Delver. I think this is Stormbound, and the Ash Barrens shows up. I think it's Stormbound. What I'm thinking is if I just play Seeker of the Way, leave up Dispel, and cycle Ash Barrens, I think playing a Seeker of the Way is fine, actually. Uses my mana just as effectively. Racing their Delver should not be an issue. He has a Moment of Craving, but I don't see a black source yet. No black source. He's leaving up Counterspell. So if I... Oh, shoot. If I Stormbound Geist here, he's going to Counterspell, and I don't have the blue up for Dispel. I think just Battle Screech is fine, even if he counters it. triggers my prowess, and so I get in for 6. And I believe that turn I could have played an island and Stormbound Geist, and that would have been a better plan. The Battle Screech will come back, I believe. So now he has Moment of Craving mana up. Or not up, but at least out. So, I think I am ready to trade a Seeker of the Way for that Delver. I think I'm the beatdown here, is why I'm making this trade. Brainstorm is fine. Another bad thing about accumulated knowledge is it's kind of like an all or nothing thing, where if you have a matchup where you like all your cards and want to cut some cantrips, and you're like, it's a little bit too expensive, you can't really cut a smaller number of them. This looks like an angler, and I don't want it to be. No. Okay. So I'm not going to cast my Preordain here. My reasoning is that his Garmog Angler is untapped. I don't think that I can cast enough instant and sorceries. I'm sorry about my neighbor just revving their engine. I hope that's not like a rest of the video thing. Sometimes he works on a four-wheeler. That sounds like he's driving away. Hooray! Is this another? No. Stop. It feels weird having counter spells in a prowess deck. They're non-synergistic. Okay. Let's get some good stuff off this Preordain. Preordain is a good thing to get off of Preordain. Let's get some good stuff off of this Preordain. I'll take both of those. What is better here? Is Raise the Alarm that good right now? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So snapping the Garmog Angler would take up like the entire turn. So I think that's pretty good. I'll just go ahead and do that now. I forgot. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. So Raise the Alarm lets me flashback Battle Screech. That's what I forgot about. Since this is lethal next turn, I think I did make the right choice, but I didn't consider it, which I'm kicking myself for. Okay, let's see if this lands. Okay, kills our guy, blanks the other. Nothing in the yard besides Battle Screech to think about. He can Angler to block these soldier tokens. I probably shouldn't have kept these soldiers on top. Also, this is probably... I don't like the card Sends Enlistment, but this might be a Sends Enlistment deck. This might be one of the ones that uses it best. Because I am craving... I keep using the word craving. I just feel like I need, which is the same meaning of the word craving. I feel like I need more white creatures in this deck. And it is easier to cast than Battle Screech. So let's see how he deals with this attack. I'm pretty sure he will. Okay, Moment of Craving on my Geist. He'll still take 2, so he's staying at 2. I've also considered... I used to run Anthem effects. They felt very Winmore. There was one that gave it gave all my creatures +1/+1 and Vigilance, and then had Cycling for 2 and Flashback for 4. That was the one that I liked the best. Counterspell could just mean I win here. It's a lot of cards that he can play that means I don't just win here. I think one of them has to be Dispel. I'm going to let that resolve since it doesn't kill our creature. Can't really attack, yeah. Going for the Augur. I think we got this. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well played, opponent. Oh my gosh. Last game. We can lose this and still be in the money, but I want to win. Okay. Turn 1, Tranquil Cove. Turn 2, Cycle, Ash Barrens, play Delver. I like this way, the way the hand curves out here. And he's on a mulligan to 6. Let's see where he scries. Top. This looks like Boggles. Sorry, pronounced that wrong. Hexproof. pronounced Hexproof. B-O-G-L-E is pronounced Hexproof. So he can really start racing. Oh gosh. That explains the mulligan. This deck mulligans quite a bit. So let's go get our island. Prismatic Strands should help us win here. Okay, island. Play the Delver. And that's it for the lands in our hand. Aranarlid would be a pretty sweet card. Play it. No, Ancestral Mask, and it's a 7/7. So we get a counterspell. So if he has, there's not a lot of, there are a few cards. Another Ancestral Mask would do it, and then Ethereal Armor would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then give this +2, so that would be lethal. That would be lethal. Okay, what I'm debating is, do I want to leave up mana for Counterspell and possibly raise the alarm, or do I just want to go for a Seeker of the Way? A Seeker of the Way might be the way that we get out of this. I like the raise the alarm plan. So made the right decision. Okay, he has 1 card left in hand. I feel a lot better about playing a Seeker or something on this board. Battle Screech doesn't do jack. Augur's tempting. Augur definitely is tempting. Because I don't care about the creature. It blocks just as well. Well, maybe not just as well. But it buys me a turn all the same. And is that it? Just Rancor kill me? Yeah. Okay, so I think I see the line now that I was supposed to take. If I went to discard, discarded Prismatic Strands, and then flashed in Raise the Alarm, I could have flashed that back. So bring in our standard bearers. Fragmentize says enchantment, right? Yes, it does. We take out all of our snaps, and that's pretty much the plan. I didn't want to have to what's it called? Pop my Prismatic Strands and I didn't want to dump it in the graveyard. I think I needed to play that 2 turns in a row to have a chance. All right. That is rather slow. I don't do anything until turn 3. I don't like that. This seems better. Bottom of Battle Screech. Lead with that, and pass the turn. Okay. I'm gonna go for the Seeker of the Way so that I have a clock. Oh, he's on a one-lander. So then we just leave up Counterspell and Raise the Alarm. Found a second land. See, he chooses white with that Utopia Sprawl. Just an abundant growth. I actually think Ethereal Armor is fine. It's not trample or anything. And right now we both have 4-powered creatures. Or 4 power of creatures. Okay. Second Prismatic Strands is cool. This is scary where he can double up on casting enchantments. Creature's fine. Cantrips. Second Ethereal Armor on a green creature. He's spreading them out too. That's an unblockable creature as well. I think he basically has this if he just waits. And yeah, blocks like he is. Whiff. I think we could just die here. No. Okay, so he didn't put it on his scary guy. Next turn, we're fine to cast a Battle Screech. I think we want to put Prismatic Strands in the yard. So that's happening. And that thing's got double lifelink. Our chances are getting slim. Oh, I said I was going to cast a Prismatic Strands, and then I didn't. Then he gained double lifelink. F my life. Regardless, I have to Battle Screech. I can't just sit back. So many enchantments that just win him the game. Not one of them, although it does pump his scout. That's one of them. All right. So how much is this? 11, 16, 17. 16, 13, 12, so 17 minus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's 10. Yeah, I lose. Dang. Could have stayed in it for a minute longer, but the chances that we were going to win were slim to none. I think after playing the matches, the changes I want to make are cutting accumulated knowledge. It's a little bit too cute, and I don't really need like card advantage. I need action and speed right now. The Prismatic Strands, I didn't end up liking that much. They're good, but 3 is a lot, and I would like to cut those back down. So I think Sen's Enlistment and then some number of like Ponder or Gush would really help my deck out. As far as the sideboard goes, I think cutting down the number of Sunlances and Hydroblasts for probably 1 Relic, Stormbound Geist, and then I'm not sure what else. But there's some improvements to be made there as well. So thank you for watching. Subscribe for more Pauper content. Have a good week.